Hello, everybody. My name is Puppetine, and yes, I know it's here. We're back on Tuesday, and it's not actually for Superman this week. In fact, we are here for the one, the only, the Flash. He is back. It's been a little while, but they finally decided to continue where they left off after a certain virus took over the world, and we are here to discuss its return. Now with me, I have the real Dr. Venkman. Say hello, Venkman.
Hello, Venkman.
Well, that's what I missed. Thank you. We are here today, and we have just finished the episode just a little while ago. I know it's late in the world, and people who watch the show have already seen it, but our discussion and our point of view is always something we like to give. So, in any starting notes for this, how did you feel when we left off the last season?
I didn't care for that actually last season. I'm like, it became the running joke where, get it, running joke. That Barry cannot be the Flash. There's always something happening where he cannot longer be the Flash. It just got to the point where it became all about Iris, and I just don't care for that part anymore. She is a damsel in distress, and that's all she should be. Unless you want to give her more rules where she can, like Josh Williams did in the Flash current comic book. But the show is all about the men have to look stupid. And sadly, I just don't care for that anymore. But I gotta say, though this is the only show on CW that actually brings a tear to my eye. And not because it's bad. It's because those touching moments with Wells, when someone leaves someone actually can act, an actual good actor, is leaving the show. The guy who plays Nash, obviously, in this series, this episode, we get off where Barry, he only has 1% left of speed left before, and he could not save Scudder. We find out that Scudder was a mirror creation created by Eva McCullough, who is, in comics, Evan McCullough was the second Mirror Master. They're trying to build up this female character, saying she created Scudder. The whole entire time was her. You're not Agatha Harkness. Shut up.
It wasn't Ava all along? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't her at all. Like I said, like this series, it has its ups and downs. It's probably been one of the better shows, dare I say. And I say that because Arrow started off great and just got horrible towards the end. And I'm talking about this aside from Felicity and all that crap. It got to the point where Diggle questioned everything he did and is like, wait, are you married to him? Why are you questioning everything he does? He's a hero. You are Spartan or Spartacus, whatever you're trying to be. And we find out that that's a butchered version of John Stewart, the Green Lantern, second Green Lantern. Obviously, this is for people who do not read comics. This is what everything is as far as Marvel and DC. But the show does have good points. Like I said, I do love how they show his Speed Force and how they show him as far as running it and stopping slow motion. The technology for that is cool. How he puts a costume on. They finally gave him the ring in the previous season it was, where it actually pops up. But for whatever reason, in this one, he had the costume. I guess he didn't need it in the ring because he doesn't have his, he wasn't using speed as much, so it's on a mannequin again. But what's really weird though is that we started off with Barry Allen inside a cryogenic chamber. Oh,
yeah!
Quick, hit the flash alarm! There's something going on. I awake from my child cry sleep. What must I do? It was really weird to see that. I was like, I don't know what they're doing. But I'll tell you one thing. For people who watched the last episode and watch it now, I think it's Justin Grant or Grant Justin. I think confused the name. He put on some weight, muscle, as far as that. His shoulders are broader now. He actually fits out the suit more. Where before it was kind of like the suit fit him.
You're saying before he was Grant Gustin, but now he's Grant Bustin.
Okay, hello to LK and Ed Brewer. Ed Brewer is saying censorship at work. Then they're saying hi to each other. LK says, this was an episode designed for someone to jump back after missing a few seasons.
No, see, so what this episode does basically is continue right where we left off.
As they always do.
The last season got cut short because of one COVID-19. We think we're on 21, but they're still on 19. So this is basically continuing right onto that. It's the same season, basically.
It is, yes. And we've learned from comics, for those who read Generations Forged, everything's linear. So they didn't really age at all. Even though it's been 2 years in our time, it's only been like, a day or two or a week, a couple weeks, or maybe a couple months. I think, what did they say? Did they say it was 5 months? Was it like 6 months? Or like that time jump? I don't remember.
But it doesn't matter because Barry was in a cryo chamber.
Yes.
He was frozen. It was to save his speed. It actually does work out, I think. I mean, if he's in that stasis like that, he can't really be using his speed at all. Yeah, the whole battery life of the Flash was. I didn't like it. I really didn't. And I don't even understand why they really did it. See, we didn't do like a season review of the last season. And so being able to discuss this, it kind of has to be here. Because, it, like we said, it continues right onto that.
I want to point out, there's a character that's joined the cast, replaced Vibe, aka Cisco. I can't remember what his name is, but Chester. Yep. Chunk. Yeah, Chester. For those who don't know who he is, he discovered wormhole or the multi-dimensional travel. Did he disappear for a while and came back? They finally found him. I think that was last season.
I wish I could remember exactly what his episode was, because he was like a fan of the Flash, and then he basically got hit by some
the wave, hit him.
Yeah, and he could make like wormhole kind of dimension things.
Yeah,
and suck them in.
What's really interesting, because I'm looking at this character, and this guy, and this he's in charge of like wormholes and all that stuff, and the Joshua Williams character created a character similar to this guy. He ended up becoming Paradox when he was trapped in a part of the Speed Force, and he started manipulating, absorbing the energy, going through all the paradoxes that Flash had created by traveling through time and stuff. And he started feeding upon that. And this guy, I don't know if they want to create a villain out of him, but that would be an awesome way to introduce a Joshua Williams character. Even though the guy's name is Chris, but it's close enough for me.
I believe Chester is already based off of a comic character. I wish I could remember his name. I think I just said it, but that character right now is temporary Cisco. From the trailer of the next episode, Cisco is coming back, but I guess we'll have two of them in the room. We have to make up for the lack of a major star that's leaving the show, and it is the most disappointing part.
Okay. Sorry. I was looking at him. His name's Chester P. Runk. Yep. And what pops up, he's kind of like, wasn't that Chunk, the character?
Yeah. Chunk.
Yes. Well, that guy was really obese, too.
Yeah, this one isn't as obese, but
I know this one's like in shape, working out. I'm surprised that they went with that, and they could have went with the Joshua Williamson character, because that would have been to be much more interesting.
LK just said, but do you want them to introduce comic book characters considering this is the last season?
The last season of Flash? No.
No. It's not the last season of Flash. Flash is still going strong.
This is the last season of Supergirl.
Yeah. It is far better than Supergirl. Yeah, we can't deny that. Even with troublesome storyline sometimes, we can't deny that it is better than Supergirl. I have to say, for this episode, I felt like it took off right where we left.
Yeah. They already announced. There's a season 8 coming out.
There you go. I mean, Arrow ended with season 8, but there's no saying the Flash will.
But like I said, there's so much they could do, and as far as adding new characters, I would love that to keep adding new characters. Obviously, I don't like it when they perverse a character, but then again, it's CW. If you're watching a CW show and assuming the characters can be exactly like the comic books or even Marvel, you're kidding yourself. You shouldn't be watching any of that stuff. You should just go back to reading your back issues of comics, because everything is changing, and there's really nothing we can do except maybe vote with your wallet. But again, if you're the only person doing that and everyone else is buying it, what's the point of that? Maybe you're not spending your money on it, and that's your personal choice, but to think that because you speak up, you're going to affect everything, unless you're trying to cancel someone, you're not going to have that effect. That's my opinion, though. But I don't know what Puppetine feels like. But obviously, they're probably the same.
I agree with you mostly. But I don't feel like the Flash has offended me enough to want to cancel it. Not at all. No. I wanted to keep going.
If anything, we got to actually. They accidentally gave us a better version of Iris than the real one. The mirror version was nicer to Barry.
Well, no. The mirror one started out a real bitch. And one of the most disappointing things is to look into fandoms and see people like, I don't want this to be a mirror Iris. I want this to be real Iris because she has power. No, she was horrible to Barry. Right. Every single episode as that mirror version. When she was gone, we went back into the love story of it. And it is a little weird considering the situations that they have. But it's still the main focus for Barry. His love for Iris has always been there. His fuel is there. Even that cheesy musical two-parter, when he proposed to Iris and was singing, that is his rock. And I can't say that I don't know how they could do the show without her.
Honestly, you want to know how you do the show without her? Go back and watch the 1990s CW Flash CBS Flash with John Wesley Shipp.
I already did.
And you notice how they had Iris and it kind of broke up, and that was it. And then him and Tina McGee were working out. They basically took Barry, turned him into Wally. They gave Wally's personality. And like I said, this show in the beginning, they kind of tease about how Barry can't get drunk. So they gave him a special elixir. He allows him to get drunk for like 30 minutes or 20 minutes. 10 minutes at all. They don't. I miss, like in the John Wesley Shipp one, where he would constantly be eating every episode. They go out. He's got stacks of boxes. Yeah, it added to the humor, but it also added to the actual like comics. Mike Baron does this in the Wally West 1987 run. You see that where a Wally ran across and he caught like 5 baby Ruths, because that's how much energy he spent running across the street. Just to get, buy a lottery ticket, whatever.
Yeah.
There has to be a limit to your powers. And the only problem with the Flash, though, this show, they like to limit his abilities, or they dumb him down. Like they don't get or when he tries to do something, obviously he's gonna fail. And he's gonna try again. That's the formula they do. They fail the first time, and then they figure it out at the end, and then they get through. They get a little further than there. It's kind of like watching Dragon Ball Z. You kind of get a little closer to the plot, then it stops. Yeah. I just wish though that they would have people stop questioning Barry. Barry decides to do something like, well, you can't do that though. We're a team. Who has got the powers? Who's been there? It's like, yeah, I understand. I mean, politely understand. Yes, you should discuss with Iris, but Iris should also accept, take a step back. Like, he's the Flash. They need a hero. I agree. And it's the same thing with Lois Lane. There's a limit. Yes, there's a limit. But the whole point is, I didn't sign on to watch Iris West. I signed on to watch The Flash. and that's what most people did. Now that,
Mhm.
and I don't like the fact that they have to do this where they have to put, Barry, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm a blogger. I know
And
what I'm talking about. I don't know.
what is it with superheroes and journalist girlfriends? I mean, really, think about it. We're watching Superman and Lois, where Clark Kent, uh, he is a journalist himself, but that's not his primary goal. He's a journalist, so that way he has the news to go and save the world. And Lois Lane, she's the journalist. She's the one who's going down, getting cases, and it's something we expect. Okay, that's normal. In that new Spider-Man game that came out a couple years ago,
The
Mary
Miles
Jane
Morales?
Watson was turned into a no, not Miles Morales, the one with Peter Parker.
The original one, yeah, Marvel Spider-Man. Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm. Mary Jane was turned into a journalist.
The backlash on that game was insane. Like, I don't want her turning into a Lois Lane. It's like, it's not the comics. It's a different verse. It's someone's different style. And actually I actually kind of liked it better. Their version of Doc Ock was cool and creative and different, and I accepted it. But like I said, getting back to this thing, the CW seems to basically they don't let the heroes beat heroes a lot of times. And if the hero does it, Barry at this point, season 7, should not be making so many mistakes as he was when he first started off. And I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen this season because they just got rid of. Remember, Barry always needs a mentor to tell him what to do. Well, they just got rid of Wells.
Every single Wells they got rid of.
Every single Wells is gone now.
Can we talk about the scenes where Barry was hit with the multiversal particles, and he was playing the versions of Harrison Wells? That was great.
Yeah, they even did the whole Sherlock bit. Obviously, Miranda, I think I recall you saying you hated the different versions of Wells. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I never said that.
I didn't say. I didn't call you that. I said Miranda.
Oh, Miranda. My apologies.
Miranda.
Yeah. Miranda says that she dipped out around the plot line where Iris was in danger, I believe, from Reverse Flash. That's
Season 2?
Times, isn't it?
I don't know. Reverse Flash has been out throughout the whole entire series. He pops up every once in a while. Oh yeah, and Bruce says he basically checked out when she popped up. The daughter wasn't. If anything, the daughter was more tolerable than Iris.
Yes,
but then she acted like a kid, and that's kind of. And I'd rather have the daughter versus having Wallace.
Listen, this actress played a girl on a show called Black Sails. Her acting all kid-like was totally not something you'd expect. I didn't mind that storyline, but I feel like that a lot of people have their points in the show where they do dip out. I feel like it's the same thing with Arrow, except at least with the Flash, each moment where people dip out is different.
It's actually much more emotional on the Flash. I found it than I do with watching any of the other CW stuff. Like I said, I've loved the guy who plays all the Wells. I believe I think he's been on some other shows too, but it kept it interesting, because they could have kept the same quiet talking like this, I like that they had different multiverse. They let you know, hey, there is a multiverse now.
Wells the Gray.
Yeah. Overused plot device. If anything, there was a way to keep Barry having someone to mentor, someone who can tell him and help him figure out stuff, because Barry relies on Star Labs a lot, which is really weird because you think that he'd run into Superman. It's like, oh wait, I'm talking. Wait, oh, you need help? I was here first, but
well, with the Wellses, I feel like they came and they really helped Barry just establish himself. We had H.R. Wells, who was basically the dumb Wells, but he was there and he was filled with energy. he brought an energy to the show. That's what that actor can do. Either he's serious or silly. There's layers to him. It's amazing how each version of himself feels different, yet keeps that feeling that we love from him.
Yeah, Cisco not only was a support character for him, but he's also the jokes. You know, he was a comedic relief. So when having Cisco leave, it makes sense to keep the Nash Wells from the Crisis. But yeah, like I said, I like the fact that he is now the point where now he's not going to be able to rely on that guy. He has the new guy, Chester, but even Chester's kind of weird, and he's kind of a fresh nookie. Barry had to basically tell him, like, don't touch this, he'll die. Oh, I did not know that. Wait, and then he got, wait, and that's right, I'll animize. I'm thinking, this guy is helping them out? This guy is he's probably a few straws short of a room.
Well, Marania's saying it was the way to keep the popular actor with the show. They messed up killing him the first season, so they made excuses to bring him back.
Which is true. It's just, well, the thing is that they killed off the original Wells was never on the show. The original Wells, they never saw him. It was Eobard Thawne. And my thing is, it never should have been Eobard Thawne taking on his face, but then they reveal it's its ability to be able to do it because he needed Barry to scrape the become the Flash because he was stranded. And plus I needed a way to explain the particle accelerator. It was a creative way to do it because obviously I was trying to think of how would he explain all these metahumans. You could have just went like, these metahumans are just there. They just started evolving. They're like the X-Men. We don't know how, but they just started happening. They could have wanted that, but this is made for people who don't read comics, so they need something to explain how to do it. And like I said, it was. I love the action. I love the scenery and stuff. And sometimes the side characters become like, instead of being supporting cast, they're an overbearing cast. And I got to the point. You notice if you watch a lot of these shows, there's hardly any action, and they became more about them bickering between each other. And I got to the point where it's like, I don't want to see this. So what's great about watching this show, The Flash, if you can watch it after it's aired, you can fast forward it if you want to. Like Flash.
You did not fast forward through this episode. Don't say that. That'd just be irresponsible.
But but like I said, this show has characters on it. I like the Wells. It's like were they hokey? But I lost. Even you can even say that about Hartley, his character, that character, Plastic Man. At first, I was like, I didn't care.
Elongated man.
Sorry, there's so many mans. Rubber band man, but And when he first came out, I was annoyed by him, but eventually he basically became like someone I actually thought was kind of cool. Cisco dipped out. This guy is still kind of quirky. He's still kind of shady. He's all about making money. Like, and I think the reason I liked him because they wrote him like Plastic Man. He felt like the guy was gonna, hey, Batman, what are we gonna do with all this gold? It's like nothing. Okay, starts eating it, and then one falls behind him, and he just, obviously he has to put it back, I thought that was kind of cool, but. So anyway, getting back to this show though, as far as the story wise, Eva McCullough is basically in the last season she killed her husband. Mm-hmm. And now she's going around. She just killed Scudder as a recap, and she revealed told the doppelganger who's I'm not sure if she's a real character or not as far as on the comic books what her name, but she can cause people to have vertigo. That's her power. She basically looks into your mind. Oh, there's Top. That's what it is. Sorry, Top. Oh yeah, and so her and Scudder were dating, and then throughout the episode, it's revealed by LK reveals as Brandy Rhodes is a doppelganger, Cecilia West. She has that power empathy; she can read people's minds. While she's interrogating Top. Top starts going into her Cecilia's mind and starts increasing. She found the little sliver of doubt she has increases where she started hyperventilating. So, and it's revealed that Scudder was, working for that was working for Eva, and Top knew this, but she's at this whole point, she made Scudder believe that he was in control and everything, and she's the mastermind behind it, all that stuff. She's waiting for a perfect opportunity to advance because she can do so much more and all that stuff. She's never played. She's always been known as the ditzy on the Flash, but she's actually smarter than people thought. So this whole episode was basically making the women more powerful and more important.
Okay, but the moment
even Iris
is able to use Top's powers back onto her, make her have a panic attack, basically, to get the information for Joe. I actually enjoyed that. I felt that was actually pretty cool for the character Cecile.
Cecilia has always, like I said, Cecilia's always been a good character. She's kind of timid. She originally was, I think she was a detective, and then she became the DA. And then discovering, after having the baby somehow she got meta abilities. They started to develop while she was pregnant with Joe's kid. Joe was not in this episode whatsoever, which was kind of weird because usually, he was. Yeah, for like a second.
Two times.
For like a second each one. Usually Joe's in here as someone the Barry talks to. So I got a feeling now because the Wells, basically, in order to restart Barry's powers, they need an energy source, and Nash Wells was the human conductor. And at first, Nash didn't want to do it because he didn't want to die. He was scared, so he lied and told, the girl, Ultraviolet, I think her name is, the
Allegra. The medicine woman.
Allegra D, yes. He basically wanted to use her powers to try to keep the multiverse energy that's in them, all the different wells.
The multiversal particles. He wants to put them into the
sphere.
The artificial speed force. Yeah. Basically the sphere that would contain the energy. But the problem is once she pushes them through out of Nash, they basically hit Barry, knock him to the floor, and he wakes up and he has a bunch of wells inside. It was pretty fun.
They're going. Yeah, because he pushed her out. Barry pushed Allegra out of the way, and they went into him. And so we got to see Grant Justin basically playing all different wells, which was kind of interesting and different. It was short though. It wasn't really like long. Because this whole issue was saving Barry's life, and then the last 3 minutes, he has to basically stop this plane, basically flying over. It's a stealth plane. It's gonna fly over Central City. It was revealed to Cecilia by Top that that they planned a bomb, and it was gonna, it was all black holes, technology left over. It was gonna explode, and the problem is if it explodes over Central City, it would kill everybody. So at this point, Nash decided, you know what? After talking to Harry, I think it is the Earth 2, the one the serious one, talking to him while he's in Barry's body, and they revealed to him that's like, you know what? We all were mistakes. It's Barry Allen and the love for people here that made us all better people. So Nash decides to sacrifice himself in order to restore Barry speed. And and like I said, I started tearing up at that point because I'm like, it's been building up as far as I knew he was going to leave. Cisco's left and come back and left again twice now. Caitlin Snow is supposed to come back as far in the next episode to help against Mirror Master, who we get another shocker from that Puppetine, which I kind of was wondering too, because I was thinking like once I saw that file on her husband's computer says it for Eva, I was like, oh my gosh, I bet they're gonna do it.
I want to address a couple things before we talk about the last bit, which is Eva focused. She gets information about herself. But we have... Huh?
Mirrored image of herself?
Yeah. Eric Breen is saying women can do anything in Keystone City. Well, this is Central City, so I don't know. LK is asking...
No. Killer Frost is not gone permanently. Her and Caitlin basically share custody over the body. They each take time controlling the body. They divided it up, which is really weird because I like Killer Frost as a villain. I don't like it as Caitlin Snow as being, I'm a separate personality. No. Caitlin Snow is better at being the villain because otherwise it just kind of divides the character, and I don't like that. If anything, I would rather than just cut the characters in half, and just have Killer Frost be her own version. What they should have done.
Well, I want to talk about the actress for a minute because I believe the reason why she left in the first place was because she was going to have the baby. Yeah, she was going to have her baby.
She originally got married, and then she got pregnant, during COVID and all that stuff. So she's not really in the last season towards the end. So, yeah. Yeah, Palpatine does have Speed Force going on. You can see the wind is blowing, but he's getting ready to run.
Oh, yeah. Run, Palpatine, run. No, I'm kidding. I think it's... LK says yes, but has Caitlin/Frost been written out of the show?
No. Because
she's be coming back.
The trailer preview shows Caitlin Frost helping, and Killer Frost is coming back to help Barry Allen go against Eva McCullen. So, Mirror Master.
Speaking of Eva, this is what basically happens. She sees that her bomb plan fails, and she decides to go on the computer and check out the file that's marked for Ava, and it's video footage. And it shows that night, the night of the, I believe, the particle accelerator explosion. And she is thrown against the mirror. We see Ava in the video. She's thrown against the mirror. And then she bounces back and hits the floor. And we see her husband come up and hold her. And it's like, no, Ava!
This whole entire time, she's been a mirrored copy of her. And she thought that her husband didn't care about her. It turns out she just killed a man for no reason.
Yep. Everything she knew was a lie. Hello, Snatchface the Fool. We're about towards the end of this, but I do want to say, for what it is, and when I say for what it is, it's because COVID shut down the previous season, and we didn't get an actual wrap-up. I want to say for what it is, this is actually a solid episode. The moments with Iris, which we didn't talk a lot about, Eva's basically manipulating her.
Yeah, and making herself doubt herself, and then she realized, you're actually doing this. You're afraid of me. I'm getting close to getting out of here. So, towards the end, you see Iris at a computer typing stuff. Yeah, obviously she's a mirrorverse, so it's reversed, But she's gonna send a message, and then all of a sudden, I think did Ava pop up? Or no, it was just a ripple effect.
Ava popped up and basically was saying, "You can't get out of here. You can't. You're trapped. And if you don't agree to my terms, you will never see your husband again." And that's when Iris goes on about how, no, you're scared of me getting out of here. To answer Snatchface's question, who's the baby face on the right side of the screen? Hi, Professor Pixel. That's you, right?
Oh, yeah. Hi.
That's right.
Professor Pixel over here.
There you go. So,
I am all the pixels.
Iris is also starting to learn that she's able to manipulate reflective surfaces. And that's an important detail that will come up later.
What's really weird, though, I want to point this out because LK brought up new characters. What really want new characters in this season? We got a new Wells. Do you remember which Wells this was? H.G. Wells.
Orson
Welles.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the brilliant actor. We got one more Wells for the road, and he was quite enjoyable. That's also one of the things I will miss, the Council of Wells.
But as Chester said, wow, it's not like they're all part of him. They're all running with Barry now. So I wonder, because if they're part of Speed Force, can Barry, there's like a connection to them? Can they go talk to him? Are they gonna do that stuff? Because they're part of him.
the Speed Force in the last basically 7 seasons of the show
was a
6
woman
seasons.
took on the form of his mother.
Yeah,
So,
it was a force far more mysterious, almost godly like.
this is an artificial Speed Force, so who knows?
This is more technological, I suppose, because they are building it themselves. It's not its own realm. So I don't know. I wish that Tom Cavanaugh, I believe that's the name of the actor. I wish he would stick around. I feel like he is one of the best parts of the show, and I understand if he wants to leave. But I do want to take a moment and say thank you to that actor, because he's made this show some of the best television in years. And him alone, he basically carried it on his back for a large part of the later seasons. At least I feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, though, I think we've covered everything.
Yeah, we kind of ran through real fast.
We flashed right through it.
Yeah. Any questions from anybody else in the?
Well, Mrs. Puppetine does not smell like yarn. I smell like yarn. She takes a shower after I touch her every time. So it's like, hey, how you doing, honey? Can you pass me that? Our hands accidentally touch and she has to go. I don't know what it is.
Is it true that you also double as a loofah?
No, because then I would be all soggy.
Well, you're dry right now. You're not in the shower.
I am a one-time use loofah. Yeah, I don't want to risk it.
That's why he wears the shirts. She hides the stains.
But I think that about wraps it up. Everybody in the audience, Snatchface, Maranya, LK, Ed Brewer, Eric Breen, if you're still watching, I want to thank you so much for watching. I want to thank you, Bankman, for joining me to talk about this show.
And I personally want to thank myself for showing up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a very good mention.
I know, right?
Do you want to tell your parents you're welcome for being born too?
Well, they already know that. Why would I tell them?
Alrighty, everybody. I think that about does it. Oh, Ed Brewer says that he has a question. So I'm going to wait a minute, see if the question comes up. And I know that there is a delay, so to fill up the delay, I will just wait and
we need to fix the delay. I'm getting tired of this Speed Force delay.
That's right. Well, we're on the Speed Force. We can't help it if they're all too slow for us.
Are you calling them slow?
I'm calling us fast.
No. Someone took his question. Maybe it was.
Snatchface. Do you have to sleep in the freezer, Puppetine? To kill the mites? No, I don't sleep in the freezer.
All right, for the 9 people watching us, couple minutes, probably 5-10 minutes, go check out Ash on Comics. I believe tonight he's doing a reading where he reads to you a bedtime story. Maybe talks for an hour beforehand, so maybe you might fall asleep before the story. But even if that's so, bring your phone to your bed, put the little headphones on, get yourself nice and cozy in the bed.
Oh, I will.
Just watch it.
Alrighty, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time when we discuss The Flash. Bye.
Time to zoom out of here.